Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Matt Ackerson. I'm the founder of AutoGrow.co, as you may already know. And in this video, I'm talking about should you do a monthly blog income report? Should you do a blog monthly income report for your business? I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons, as well as the hidden danger that you have to watch out for. So this is a big drawback to doing income reports. I've never seen or heard anyone else talk about this. So you have to be aware of this going into the commitment of actually doing income reports if you're going to do them for your blog, for your business. So let's actually take a look here. So about 7 months ago, or 8 months ago at this point, I started doing monthly income reports where I would get on video. Oftentimes my girlfriend would interview me for them, and I'd share the numbers behind the business. How are we doing? What are we doing in terms of sales? How are we doing in terms of traffic and email subscribers? What are the wins for the month, as well as the lessons learned and mistakes? So always reflecting, being transparent on video. And I think that's probably one of the first benefits that I'll share with you just off the cuff, is that it helps your brand in terms of transparency. It makes you look transparent. You're being open about it, especially if you're doing anything in digital marketing or online marketing. And people, it's just interesting. It's kind of like reality TV. So that's really the big draw to it. And for the first 7 months of this year, as this graphic shows, we saw consistent growth in revenue. And I was just, just really focused on constantly beating our record from the previous month. But before I talk more about that, let's go back to the presentation here. So this video is all about helping you to decide, should you do one for your business or not? And so let me go through some of the pros and the cons, and I'll share with you some of my insights from having done 8 for the last 8 months, as well as some for previous years where I would actually give kind of a roundup for the entire year. So some of the top benefits, first one, as I mentioned, is transparency. It helps your brand if you look transparent, like you're being open and you're being vulnerable and you're being genuine, because everyone understands that, or most people understand that you're making a commitment here and you're being very open, and that can be scary. It's interesting and maybe even entertaining on some level, because people often like to live vicariously through other people, and they also like to read these reports because they are inspiring. They can be inspiring. They can show them what's possible. And it takes courage to put them together, so they're inspiring for that reason. So other than those positive effects, for your business, probably the top benefit is accountability. It's accountability because you, every month, it's a forcing function. You have to get on camera, or at the very least, sit at your keyboard and type, how you actually did. Not everyone gets on camera. That's something that I found is kind of unique to how we actually do it. And then we have a transcript. But it's a forcing function in terms of accountability, because that's something that many entrepreneurs just don't have, especially if you're bootstrapping, you don't have any outside investors, you're working on your own, and you might even feel isolated in some ways. So this forces you to be held publicly accountable. And briefly, there's some research that shows that if you declare a goal publicly, you're actually less likely to achieve it. This works a little differently because you're not actually declaring a goal, you're just being held to account to report how the business is doing. You're not declaring for certain, okay, we're going to grow every month, or we're going to hit this number, or, I'm going to do this number of push-ups. Rather, it's just kind of a checking in moment where, yeah, you have to risk public embarrassment. If 1 month, you made $10,000 and the next you're making 2, you're going to have to answer for that, almost as if your audience is kind of like your shareholders. The other small benefit is that it forces you to reflect on what you're learning, how you're growing, and you can see the journey over time developing. And you can feel proud about that. You can say, oh man, the first month, like we did, we made less than $1,000. And 2 months ago, we made almost 6,000 for the month. Now, last month, that was our first down month. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But even so, I mean, compared to our first month, we're still doing pretty well, even though last month wasn't that great. And just a lot of things went wrong. And if you want to learn more about how we're doing in terms of our growth reports, definitely go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter. You can subscribe to Matt Hacks specifically by going to the navigation. And we send a daily video depending on what you say your biggest challenge is for your business. So if it's about email, what level of the funnel do you want to learn about, your funnel, how to build the funnel top to bottom? Do you care about traffic? Do you care about email? Do you care about sales conversions? And we'll send you those. But the top drawbacks to actually having an income report is that it can be really stressful. Like, for example, last month, I was just like a ball of stress because I was very much committed to the idea of, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if every single month for the next, 2 years, 24 months, we just said we grew every single month. But the reality is that that's not necessarily going to happen. And you just have to accept that. So for example, let's look at, so this is from Just a Girl on her blog, Abby, who's the co-founder of the business with her husband. She started sharing her income reports in 2014. And you can see that for the first 3 months, revenue was just wildly up and down. And even for the first 3 months, it started high and then went down, down, down. But that's just business. You make investments sometimes for the longer term and they don't develop all the time within 30 days. But that is the hidden danger of doing these growth reports, is that it forces you to think within a 30-day time frame where you may make decisions differently than if you were thinking in terms of a quarterly or 6-month or annual or multi-year time frame. And those decisions that you make may not be in the best interest of the company. Public companies like Elon Musk talking about Tesla Motors and taking it private because public companies have to report their earnings every 3 months. So that sometimes creates a disincentive to invest and do certain things that aren't going to get results right away versus doing those short-term things which are going to make shareholders happy. In this case, your audience might be like the shareholders because they might be wowed or impressed by the fact that, oh, hey, you grew from last month to this month. So that is the hidden danger to watch out for. It's kind of like a psychological effect in terms of creating an incentive for you to only think in terms of 30 days out because, hey, maybe you want your growth report to look that much better rather than potentially, having a down month, but making investments that are going to help the company grow longer term. All right, so the one action that I want you to take, I do recommend doing an income report for your business because you want to do what others are less willing to do. And frankly, not everyone is willing to do an income report. Do it, commit to it. It's going to help your brand. It's going to help motivate you. It's going to keep you accountable, but be aware of that hidden danger as you do it. Don't think in just 30-day time frames and don't freak out. If 1 month you don't grow from 1 month to the next, it's going to happen, especially if you are a brand new startup or a young, small business. So decide on what metrics you want to share with your audience and what metrics are most relevant to actually sharing. So some people, they may want to share revenue, but not profit. Maybe you just want to share, traffic because maybe that's what your business is all about, is traffic. The important thing, though, is that you're being transparent with the numbers, talking about lessons learned, how you got there, how you got those results. And if you never want to miss a Matt Hack video like this, be sure to subscribe. You can go into the navigation to do that. If you're watching this on our website, just click the link directly below the video. Same thing on YouTube. There'll be a link to subscribe directly below the video. And as I talked about, I've been doing these growth reports and sharing the journey with you guys in Matt Hacks, talking all about sales funnels. And as I've been doing this, one of the products that I developed for you guys, for your benefit, was the sales funnel diagram pack. And this solves the problem of how do you set up a sales funnel fast? What do you do when you feel stuck and you need some inspiration? Well, you can look to these 28 handcrafted by me original sales funnel diagrams that I documented from studying multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar success stories. And you can identify the leaks in your funnel where your website might be bleeding leads and bleeding money. You can communicate faster with your team because these diagrams, they are visual, okay? And I also have videos included with them where I walk you through so you completely understand the setup and the strategy behind each funnel diagram, as well as best practices for how to implement it. Okay, so you're going to get those strategy videos on top of the 28 sales funnel diagrams. And if you want to learn more about that, I have the link coming up at the end of this video. So go ahead, check that out. And as always, like, subscribe, share, appreciate it very much. And as always, my name is Matt Ack, usually in the Matt hat, but today the Matt hat's taking a rest. So today I'm in a Green Lantern hat because comics are awesome. So keep hustling, stay focused. I will see you in the next video. Take care.